Oh, they did it, didn't they? They fucking rebooted Hellboy. Didn't need to be done, but they did it anyway. Let's get into it, shall we? And away we go, on an adventure. Right, first of all, let me make clear, I'm a big fan of the Ron Perlman Hellboys. I thought they were banging. I thought they were... CGI was good, practical was good, story was good, directing was good. I mean, the only bad thing I'd say about it is there wasn't a fucking third one. Okay, let's get into this one. What was good about it? David Harbour was good as Hellboy. That was really it. Like, the storyline, I thought was a crock of absolute shit. I'm well aware that they pulled bits from, I'm pretty sure it was Darkest Calls, Storm and the Fury, and The Wild Hunt. I'm pretty sure they might have even pulled a bits from Hellboy in Mexico. But there's too many little bits pulled and put together, which it's too many different stories trying to morph into one. I mean, that's why it just didn't vibe right. Parts of the film, like the beginning, it has the vibe where it's a bit more serious, it's a bit more horror based. 15 minutes later, whoever wrote this obviously thought, fuck it, we'll go the opposite direction. Too many jokes that didn't land. Honestly, the two funniest parts of this film, I'd say, were David Harbour as Hellboy and Stephen Graham as the mouldy potato pig man, who honestly was fucking hilarious. Anytime you heard the accent coming out of that face, I could not stop laughing. But it was, yeah, for me it wasn't enough to say. I mean, compared to Guillermo del Toro, they were just reboot with different actor. I'm pretty sure it's different stories that they pull from, but considering I love Hellboy. It's probably one of my favourite characters. Probably some of my favourite comic books that I own are Hellboys. But it's not that difficult to do a fucking good job. Just pick one genre you're going for, stick to it. Pick one story, stick to it. I understand they didn't want to do a complete re-entry, even though they did him younger, so technically they'd have to do a re-entry of the character because it's not the one you've already seen. Whatever, I don't get paid to write this shit, because if I did, it would have been, well, no, let's face it, if I got paid to write this shit, Hellboy would have been drunk and high as a fucking kite for most of this film. I just wish they'd have stuck to one story. They'd have recast some of the characters. Like Daniel Day Kim, I hated him. Ian McShane, I love Ian McShane. I hated him in this. I didn't think it worked. I thought he was phoning it in. Realistically, like I said, the only people I actually thought did a good job were probably Stephen Graham and David Harbour. And I mean, that's the annoying thing. That's the main issues I had with this film. Inconsistent story. It had a really weird, low soundtrack. If you compare it to a film like Guardians of the Galaxy, the soundtrack meshed, the soundtrack worked. The soundtrack for this felt out of place. I was watching this with my girlfriend at the time, and there were times where I was literally like, what the fuck was that? It'd be a serious moment, or a light-hearted, but the music was the worst choices you could have made. It'd be like going to a funeral, to a cremation, and listening to We Didn't Start the Fire. Not appropriate, maybe go a little bit different. I can understand why it did bad. People that love the character, I can get that, and probably people that love the originals probably wouldn't enjoy this. I would recommend it to the extent that David Harbour was good. There were a few good things about the film. I wasn't bored. It was just more... I compare it to watching a film that gives you a headache, to the sense that you can't seem to follow it. It's very jarring. I don't know who edited the film, but whoever edited the film, I'm going to say, slept most of the time, or was drunk most of the time. Because parts of it were just... I mean, the fight between the trolls was awesome, but even that felt a bit weird. It looked like Hellboy was fighting nothing, which, to be fair, Hellboy was fighting nothing because it was CGI monsters. Yeah, I'm not going to rant about that, because literally I could rant about that. 'Cause there are some CGI bits in this film that, like, there's the professional opinion when people are like, it takes you out of the film. It didn't take me out of the film, it just looked fucking stupid. It's like when you're watching a Resident Evil film and you see like a zombie or you see whatever and you're like, well, who the fuck made that? Whose choice was it? Like, I don't know whose choice it, like, creatively, whose input was in this film. I'm going to assume it was a moron. I mean, or two morons. From what I've read online, I do know it was like people that had an involvement should have had more, but whatever, you know. I could rant all day, all week, but I'm not going to, because you sexy people have things to do. So peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!